If tech is Ololade's occupation, leadership is his passion. We learned this firsthand on a tour of his leadership center.
Because the thing is, you know, it won't be like the other time where we were just, it was more like a conversation. This one is going to be more, yes, it's a full session. Who does being an example help?
Followers.
Right? So, we agree that when you're an example, you're influential, you have vision, you're an icon, you have achievements. It's for the followers.
Yes.
Right? So most of us have this mindset that leadership is this way. So we have someone on top who is a leader, right? And then we have these people who are followers. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we know.
Yes.
So how does this relationship work most times? Can we be sincere with ourselves? What happens between this person and these people? Oga at the top. Thank you. Leadership is all about these guys. It's all about the people. It's not about... So most times we say you're leading people because we want to achieve this, because we want to achieve that, because we want to do this. Leadership really is about raising more leaders, not followers. Because what happens is, if these guys begin to think like this person, and they can make the decisions like this person, automatically they are this person, which makes them leaders. So if you are leading people and then you cannot get them to a point where they begin to think like you, even do better than you, and be able to produce better results than you, then we haven't achieved what we're trying to do as leaders. You cannot lead other people if you can't lead yourself. Right? Then after that, you now begin to look at how to lead subordinates. Most times in Nigeria, we've gotten to a point where the only time we see corruption is when we talk about money. Right? We don't talk about corruption when someone, let's say, the son of a high-ranking government officer commits a crime, and then they call the court and said, that case cannot hold, the person is my son. We usually don't say that is corruption. Right? We usually don't say it is corruption when the DG of a place carries the things that belongs to the parastater and takes it to his own house for his own personal use. We usually don't say that is corruption. We only talk about corruption when money is involved. But no, that is wrong. Whenever I wrote something, I said you can be the leader and not be the head. You can also be the head and not be the leader. If you are the head and you are not the leader, there's corruption. Funny story is that I had found myself in leadership positions since I was a child, and over time I had dedicated myself to the study of leadership. I've taken a lot of leadership courses. I have an MBA in leadership from Switzerland. I also have an advanced certificate in leadership from Digital Leadership Academy in Lagos. And recently I attended a fellowship, Mandela Washington Fellowship, with the U.S. Department of State in the United States. And all this came together to help me see that we have a wrong mentality about leadership. We have a wrong mindset about leadership in Africa. We think leadership is about bossing people around, telling them what to do and how to do it. Meanwhile, leadership, on the other hand, is about raising people, building them to become better versions of themselves, and even become the best versions of themselves. That way, they're able to solve problems, they're able to make changes that will transform our lives. I've come to discover that Africa is filled with very sharp minds. We have very smart individuals, especially young people. And then we have not been able to harness what these people have in them. And most times it's because we haven't been able to train them adequately, give them the right knowledge, give them the right resources, give them the right skills, and impart the right mindsets into them to be able to think like leaders. And that's one of the things that I see when I interact with young people, especially when we are having our sessions. Police officer gets to the fuel queue, and they don't join the queue, and they go from the front of this thing to enter. That's corruption. One of the things we try to do in our Obra Leadership Institute is to ensure that we raise some certain types of leaders, and these leaders will be able to do three things. Number one, they will be able to stay committed to a noble cause, which means in the course of their leadership, they are using it for the right things and not the wrong things. They are doing the right things at all times, regardless of who is doing the wrong things around them. So the kind of leaders that will come out of here are not leaders who would say, oh, everybody is jumping, everybody is running the red light, I can run the red lights as well. Or everybody goes to the filling station and then they bribe somebody, or I can bribe as well. I mean, everybody's doing it. But there are leaders who would ensure that they are pursuing a noble cause. So for example, I always say that we've had some leaders like some of the people who were at the forefront of the Holocaust, for example. They were leaders, but that was not a noble cause. We've had people who lead some groups of terrorists or some groups of suicide bombers who kill people. They are leaders, but that is not a noble cause. So we don't want to train leaders who will go out there and then they are using their leadership on they call it the dark side. No. We want to raise leaders who will use their leadership to pursue a noble cause. Number two, we want to raise leaders who will lead with innovation and excellence. So what that means is they are not just doing leadership the usual way. They're doing it excellently, and they're always thinking of better ways to do the things that they do. They're thinking of better ways to make the processes and the ways they do their things even much better than their contemporaries. And number three, we're raising leaders who will raise other leaders. So it's not just about themselves. It's about raising other people as well in the process.